On today's journey to mastering this thing called life, I want to continue our discussion about sin. Romans 3:23 says, "All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God." For just a few moments, I want to talk from this subject. Sin is an inside job. In Romans chapter 5, verse 12, the point of all sin seems to be that all humanity participated in Adam's sin and were condemned to death, even before they themselves deliberately chose to sin. In fact, that is exactly what Paul confirms in Romans 5:14. Within this passage, Paul explains how and why the death penalty for Adam's sin came upon the entire human race. Augustine explained Adam's transmission of his sin to us with a theory known as federal headship, a view held by most evangelical scholars. He taught the concept of inherited guilt. In other words, when Adam voted for sin, he acted as our representative. His sin was therefore imputed or credited to the entire human race. We were all declared guilty for Adam's one sin. Another view is that the statement "all have sinned" refers only to personal sin arising from our sin nature. After clarifying in Romans 5:13-17 how personal sin is imputed and then spreads, Paul explains why all die, even if they have not committed personal sin. The reason all receive this death sentence, according to verse 18 of Romans 5, is that through Adam's disobedience, all were made sinful. You can find that in verse 19. The verb "made" means constituted. Thus, the sin nature is an inherited condition that carries a death sentence, even in those who are not yet guilty of personal sin. This inherited condition inevitably spawns personal sin when conscience matures and holds a person accountable as soon as he chooses to knowingly transgress the law. We are all sinners because Adam passed on his sinful condition that leads inevitably to our personal sin and death. All share Adam's death sentence as an inherited condition that is passed down to and through the human race, and that every child brings into the world. Even before a child can be held accountable for personal sin, he or she is naturally prone to disobey, to tell lies, and so on. Every child is born with a sin nature. Psalms chapter 51, verse 15, tells us that we were born in sin, shaped in iniquity. In sin did my mother conceive me. Sin is an inside job. Psalm 14:2 says, "The Lord looks down from heaven on the sons of men to see if there are any who understand, any who seek God." And what does the all-seeing God find? According to verse 3 of Psalms 14, all have turned aside. They have together become corrupt. There is no one who does good, not even one. In other words, all have sinned. Even before God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, Abraham pleaded with him to not destroy the cities in Genesis 18:16-33. God said he wouldn't destroy the cities if Abraham could find somebody that was righteous, but he couldn't. No one wanted to turn away from their sin. Sin is what comes natural to us. It's in our DNA. People sin because they want to, not because they have to. Sin looks good. Sin smells good. Sin tastes good. Sin even sounds good. And if that is not enough, Sin feels good. I told you sin is an inside job. James 1:14-15 says, "But each one is tempted when he is drawn away by his own desires and enticed. Then when desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. And sin, when it is full grown, brings forth death." Sin is an inside job. Quit before payday. Now let me know what you think in the comments section. I want to hear from you on this. Please like this video and share it with someone you know that may be struggling. Maybe hearing from a third party may help them get over whatever sin they are struggling with. Put your faith in Jesus. If you haven't already, He'll help you master this thing called life. Until next time, thanks for watching.